What's up, you guys? Got another video today. We'll be working on this 1983 Honda GL1100 GoldWing. I already gave it a once over to make sure we have all the parts we need to hopefully fire this thing up. And that was about a week ago, and what I did was just tested to see if it would turn over, and it was just clicking. So I went ahead and took the starter off and did some tests. Had to open it up and found a broken wire. So I soldered it back together, put it back on the bike, and got the starter to work, but still too weak to really turn this thing over like it's supposed to. So went ahead and ordered a new one. Then I adjusted all the valve clearances on both sides while waiting for parts to come in. Those are pretty out of whack, so glad I did that. And also drained the gas out of the tank and out of the carburetor bowls and filled it all up with fresh fuel. And while I was buying stuff online, I bought 4 carburetor rebuild kits just in case we run into some issues and have to rebuild them. And also ordered a new headlight. So if you look in there, you can see those headlight brackets. This is a standard model, not the Interstate. So from the factory, it just came with a single headlight up front and not this fairing or the trunk. Those are both aftermarket parts, and that's just not really what we're going for. The goal of today's video is just to make this thing look like it was fresh out of the factory and hopefully hear it run for the first time. But make sure you watch till the end, as I'll be telling you guys how much I really paid for this thing. I think you'll be pretty surprised, but go ahead, throw your best guess down in the comments below. Curious how much you guys would pay for a bike like this. But anyways, let's get started. That's already a huge upgrade. And then this is the new headlight. Should bolt up nicely. I'm glad they left these brackets on here. These are extremely hard to find online. Now we're looking like a GoldWing. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, now let's go ahead and get this trunk off of here. Alright, so the starter's not too difficult. All you have to do is remove this 10mm nut, get the wire off, and there's an 8mm down there, and then another 8mm down there, and then a 10mm nut to get this shifter off, and then we should be able to pop it out, snake it through there. So let's get it. Alright, and we're done with that. Now, let's see if we can get it started. Alright, first things first, I'm just going to pull the spark plugs and do a spark test. Make sure we're getting good spark. I'm going to do the same to the other side, and then we'll check and see if it's sparking. Alright, I'm just going to do a little squirt of some two-stroke mix into the cylinders just to give it a little lubrication when I go to turn this over. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. You guys tell me if I'm getting any spark. Alright, I think that side's good. Let's check the other side. Alright, looking good. Alright, so I put a different battery on. This one's fully charged. The other one was getting pretty low. We've got spark. I already did valve adjustment. I got the fuel on, and we already changed the gas out of the tank, emptied all the gas out of the float bowls, and all the float bowls filled up and are not leaking, so it tells me the float valves are working properly. So now I think we tested everything needs tested. Let's see if it'll fire up. Alright, moment of truth here. Let's see what happens. Whew. Wow. This just tells you Honda is where it's at. I cannot believe this thing started that easily. I still got the choke on a little bit while warming it up. Alright, choke off. I mean, that motor sounds very good. Nice and tight. See if it'll idle now. Wow. Yeah, well, told you guys I'd tell you what I paid for this thing. $400. I think it was pretty worth it. Yeah. So I'm gonna let it warm up, and we might have to do a carb sync. I've got a gauge kit over there, and I think that's the next step. We'll sync all the carburetors, make sure they're all running right, and yeah, we got ourselves a runner. All right, we are just about ready to make our carburetor adjustments and sync them all together. So first step we'll do is warm up the motorcycle to operating temperature, and then we'll be able to make all of our adjustments. And you know, syncing carburetors is about the same across all motorcycles. On the intakes there'll be a plug that you'll remove, and you put this adapter so that you can attach a hose to it, and you do that for all 4 carburetors. And I labeled them cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll start the bike once it's warm. Number 3 cylinder on this bike has no adjustments, so that's our base, and whatever that's set at, we'll set the other carburetors to match number 3. And there's an adjuster right in there. It's just a lock nut and then a flathead, and you'll just adjust it until they all match. And also, while we're at it, we will There's an adjuster in here, another flathead for the idle speed. We'll get that set to probably around 950. That's what it recommends. It says plus or minus 100, so we'll set it right around the 1000 mark, and yeah, should go smooth. All right, let's go ahead and open this up so we can vent our exhaust here. And we're gonna go ahead and fire it up and let it warm up for a few minutes to make sure it's at operating temperature. Alright, our choke is off now. And basically these little dials right here, it adjusts it where, you know, you want it to just barely be moving. You don't want it to stop completely. So they're not too far off, but look at 3 here. Yeah, we'll wait till it warms up, but we might not need to adjust these. They're looking pretty good. All right, so this is about as good as I can get it. As you can see, I mean, that's pretty darn close. And then my idle comes down. We're at about 950. So yeah, I think we're tuned up. Sounds a lot better. It got up to operating temperature, and it's staying in the good range. Looks like the fan kicked on earlier and then kicked off when it needed to. So yeah, we got ourselves a runner here, boys. Let's see how easy it fires up now. That sounds really good. Goes right down back to 950 where it needs to. Sweet. Let's see if it moves forward at all. Right on. Well, it's winter time right now, but make sure you guys subscribe and we'll drive this thing once all this snow melts. Thanks for watching.